is going on, guys? How are you doing? Adopotion is here, founder of Bitcoin's Walls Club. This is Today in Crypto Show. Welcome, everybody. And I am very excited, as always, to cover some of the latest news that are happening in the Bitcoin crypto space. But before we do, I'm super excited to go on this Mediterranean blockchain cruise that will be happening on September 7th to 11th. I already confirmed my spots, and I basically I'm going to be meeting for the first time John McAfee, who is a crypto icon in the space, running for US presidency, Charlie Lee, the creator of Litecoin, Roger Ver, CEO of Bitcoin.com, and the other cool people. There are 100 speakers here, so it's going to be really fun. We'll be cruising down from Barcelona to Monte Carlo, France, Italy, and also visiting Ibiza for a 4-day cruise. So if you can come, I think there is still some tickets left there, so you can join me in the cruise and we can meet there live in person. That will be really cool. So looking at the markets, we are seeing recovery. As I always say, the markets are not going down forever. Okay, it's not going down to zero. It's not going to down forever. We've seen massive sell-offs of the crypto market, in the last week, and we are seeing recovery today with Bitcoin trading $6,400, which is again $400 more, even $600 more than its lowest point just a couple days ago. That it hit about $5,890, right? Just $100 above its lowest point in time this year. So we're seeing some recovery, which followed by Ethereum is gaining slightly with 8%. Was a rough time for Ethereum, dropping to those type of levels, but we are seeing recovery now, and the whole crypto market is making gains. So congratulations, guys. If you followed my advice last day on the webinar, when I said this can be a very good opportunity to get into the markets, and you actually bought some of these coins, you could see 10%, 15%, 80% positive ROI on that trade. So anyways, we have several interesting announcements today and developments. The crypto market is again gaining more cryptocurrencies right now. 1845. It's pretty much growing day by day. One of the co-founders of BitMEX, the platform that offers 100 times leverage, he said back in the day that we could see Bitcoin bottom to 5,000 before springing to $50,000. We've seen many people come and say, Bitcoin could reach 40,000, 50,000, even $60,000 before the end of 2018. So it is definitely more positive how people view the fourth quarter of 2018. And of course, you need to take everything with a bit of grain of salt, as the CEO of BitMEX is obviously also compensated very well when people are shorting Bitcoin. So him saying it could reach $5,000, and then people would bet on Bitcoin hitting $5,000 and then getting liquidated, it will mean more profits to him, right? But we've seen this before, so it's not new. And also the founder of Cardano has made a video today and also make it clear, guys, we've seen it before. It's not new. The crypto market has experienced about 6 bubble bursts, so to speak, when it was like a yo-yo, going up, going down, losing 70-80% of its value. So it's not new. It's people compare the Bitcoin growth to the .com bubble burst, which happened once, as you recall, in 2001, and Bitcoin has been doing like this many times now. So it's growing like crazy, and we are seeing signs and metrics of increased adoption increased development. So the price is not telling the full story. You need to take a look at some other indicators that are letting us know that the market as a whole is growing. Like, for example, new job offerings all the time in the space, new blockchain developers are entering the space, the actual hash rate on the blockchain network is increasing. So I advise you take a look at this from time to time and see some of the charts and some of the statistics when it comes to the health of the Bitcoin network. And hash rate is one of those things that showing how much computing power is there on the network. So it's been growing steadily upwards. As you can see, more miners are entering the game. This is just one of the stats that are indicating the health of Bitcoin growth. Also, the one of the Ethereum Foundation manager, Joe Lubin, is saying that mass adoption crypto bull run is coming. We are living in exponential times right now, and he has a company that is advising other startups that are building on the Ethereum network. It's called Consensus, and it has 1,100 employees, and they are working hard in order to increase the efficiency of the network. So they're not stopping. They're keep growing every single month. And even though we had those sell-offs in the market, it's all he's foreseeing an excellent future for cryptocurrencies and future for Ethereum itself. There will be hundreds of other protocols in the coexisting crypto world. Now, Coinbase CEO Mark makes a stark warning about the Bitcoin adoption. He's saying, yes, we are growing and everything is fine, but we are still not quite there when it comes to mass adoption, right? If we compare that to the internet and how internet was adopted worldwide, we are somewhere here in the 1998. Here we are in the development of crypto, right? So we have still a long way to go until you can go to the local Starbucks store or local place and purchase something with Bitcoin. So mass adoption is going to come, but it's not going to be overnight. It's going to take some time, and patience has been rewarded in this space. So definitely, crypto and Bitcoin, it's all innovations that are here to stay, and it's only a matter of time when it's going to be fully adopted in our society, because of the blockchain and what it offers in terms of trust, and how we are not needing to rely on any third party organization who are managing all this accounting for us, or this ledger, which how you have seen many times throughout the history, like with the global crisis in 2008 with the Lehman Brothers. They just made something one on the books and something totally different in reality. So we need a way to trust our data. So it's very, very important. Now, Venezuela, as you know, is one of those countries that are suffering from bad leadership and bad government, and they're facing super big hyperinflation, which causes riots and upheaval, and people not trusting the government, people not trusting their own currency. So now they have created the Petro cryptocurrency in February this year, and they officially say that Venezuela, they're going to use this Petro as a unit of account for salaries, goods, and services. Okay, so this is probably the first government who is going to issue salaries to its workers in Petro, and it's going to also keep its former currency, the Bolivar, but it's going to be indexed to Petro, right? It's going to basically see what Petro is trading for and issue the prices based on that. They've seen projections as much as 1,000,000% hyperinflation in 2018. You can imagine you know, how prices are just skyrocketing like crazy. It's very, very interesting times that we are living in right now. And it's not the only country that is facing difficulties. The Turkish lira is collapsing, is actually lost about 45% of its value against the US dollar in just the recent few months, you know. So talking about volatility, when you blame Bitcoin and crypto for volatility, or, you know, let's take a look at the fiat currencies, the government based printed currencies like the Turkish lira, who is facing extreme volatility, and is maybe not as bad as Venezuela, but still, it is an emergent crisis that is happening in Turkey, and as a result, the crypto exchanges are charging more money for Bitcoin. And the same thing is happening in India, when we can see huge discrepancies between the exchanges and what one exchange in the United States, for example, charges for Bitcoin, values Bitcoin, and in India it can be a difference of $1,000. With the Turkish exchange, it's trading about $150 more than on the other exchanges. Now, when it comes to regulation, I agree that regulation is important in the sector, and it's important to regulate ICOs more. So they are now created a recent report, you know, the European Committee on Economic and Monetary Affairs, basically stating a better way to regulate ICOs, those initial coin offerings. In the first quarter, the first 3 months of 2018, ICOs raised $6.3 billion. And I believe right now it's about $8.2 billion that's been raised in 2018 through ICOs. And definitely this new form of crowdfunding requires more regulation, and it's a good direction that I'm seeing this is coming through with this regards. And again, we need to take a look at not the price, and I agree with Meltem Demirors that stated, you know, it's not really just the price. You know, look at the adoption levels, look at the different other metrics for cryptocurrencies, like utilization, how much people are really utilizing you know, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies for payments. And I see that this is growing, like more merchants around the world, more stores online, you know, they accept Bitcoin, they accept crypto. More merchant solutions are accepting Bitcoin and crypto. So compare that to if you go to a store and use a credit card, you may be having a transaction within a second, but it takes a couple days until actually the owner of the store receive the money in the bank. It needs to go through a whole series of intermediaries in order to get this money transferred from one bank to the other bank, and they are taking their cut. Okay, so with Bitcoin it's much more efficient. With right now it's, you know, maybe 10 minutes. People are waiting for the transaction, and in the future it's going to be way less than that, you know, confirmations on the network. So it's going to be way higher rate of transactions. Now Cardano ADA, very interesting project, is now launching the Icarus Google Chrome wallet. That is basically people will be able to send Cardano ADA tokens on using this Google Chrome wallet, right? It's coming in the next couple of days. So if you're using Cardano, if you're holding on to Cardano, you can now pay for stuff, and he believes that Trezor or Ledger Nano S is going to adopt Cardano in the bigger ecosystem, and more merchants are going to adopt Cardano as a cryptocurrency. And they have a lot, you know. Say Cardano, the supply of Cardano is like 25 point, almost 26 billion right now in circulating supply. and Coinbase is considering to add Cardano as well. And also they open up their blockchain, what is called IOHK, to third-party contributions, which leaves more to innovations and more people to come and work on this Cardano project, which is a good thing. And also a merchant, what is called ADA Pay, is also something that I'm working on. So you can see that it is developing. This industry is developing in many different ways. Bitcoin itself is working on Taproot. This is a privacy that is enhanced privacy protocols. You know, right now you can go on blockchain, you can still see the transactions, addresses, and the amounts and all of that. With Taproot, it's not going to be as simple to go on a blockchain and see all the transactions for people on outside. So it creates a better privacy for using Bitcoin. It still will be, you know, public blockchain, but it's not going to be as easily accessible to the outside people on the using the blockchain. So Taproot with Schnorr, which is something I've been working for years to improve the signatures. You know, all kinds of innovations will be built on Bitcoin once that will be released, and it should be something that, of course, being accepted globally and reach consensus among people to start using those new Bitcoin protocols. And just like with the SegWit improvement last year, which is now indicating 40% of transactions are accepting SegWit as a way of transacting, you know, verifying transactions. So you know, Schnorr and all of that important, like Schnorr, important update to how the signatures are operating is something that most likely will be accepted, because it's not changing the core of Bitcoin. It's just adding improvements to the protocol. Okay, and a possible fall of prices over the last, like what they call a bath a crypto bath. One of the reasons is, like I said, the liquidating funds of ICOs that raised a lot of money in 2017 during when there was a big increase in prices for Bitcoin and Ethereum, especially in December and January of this year. So they need to operate, they need to pay their developers, you know, they need to move the projects forward. So many of them have liquidated Ethereum, which left Ethereum tumbling in price. Although it's not really something that we can verify for sure, whether they went on exchanges and put in sell orders and did it publicly, or they're, you know, doing in small liquidations week by week, which is most ICOs probably what they're doing is they're liquidating their Ethereum bit by bit and not all at once, to not cause this big spike, because at the end of the day it's in their interest that Ethereum, which they collected a lot of money in from, will have as bigger of a value as it can, right? So that's one of the reasons. But overall, we just need to see, guys, what the next big bull run will start, which I see somewhere along, you know, September and October will mark the starts, and we need to have a lot of volume for the Bitcoin price to really reach those all-time highs and break the $20,000. First, it should break the 10,000, then the 15, then the $20,000, and I'm not sure if it's going to be as gradual or it's going to be like a boom over a series of like maybe couple of weeks, a big boom in Bitcoin prices, which everybody will be talking about Bitcoin when that happens. But you know, don't tell me I didn't warn you in advance and didn't prepare you to anticipate this in advance, because you know, in this rate, it is definitely something that sooner or later is going to happen. So we expect fourth quarter or in the first quarter of 2019 to mark the bull run, and we're just going to monitor when this will happen and reach the previous all-time highs for Bitcoin. All right, so those were the major news for today in crypto. This is Wednesday, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for a weekly crypto trading millionaire coaching that we are doing every week inside Bitcoin's Walls Club, and learn how to trade and how to invest into cryptocurrencies profitably. And we're going to analyze the existing Bitcoin market, give you updates about that, and help you prepare how to have the best strategy to deal with all the changing market for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And hopefully some of you guys are also going to be joining me on this blockchain cruise in Europe if you can as well. All right, so I'll see you guys in the next live